Marco got furious. He looked at Vine and slapped her at once. To which he screamed. Jungkook couldn't see this. Marco, are you blind or what? What an idiot. He was going to slap her once again, that his hand was stopped by another muscular hand. Marco looked at it, and it was Jungkook's hand. Marco, what the... Jungkook, if she is an idiot, then why don't you let her go? Marco, now you will tell me what to do. Who the hell do you think you are? Leave my hand. Jungkook left it at once, and he kept standing there, assuring Marco that he won't let him beat her once again. Marco scoffed. Get out of here at once, otherwise. Jungkook, what will you do? I'm not going anywhere from here. Marco, I can kill you in an instant, and no one will even know about it. Jungkook, I'm ready to die if you let her go. Entering into his boss' bedroom, which he never does because his boss is very strict about it, he wondered why. He always thought maybe it's because of his new eighth wife. He doesn't want to show her to anyone. That must be the reason, he thought. He was restricted to the outside of his boss' room, and he was ordered not to enter it at any cost. But today he received the message from his radio that the enemies have invaded the very house they are all in. Striking fear in everyone's heart, all the guards forgot about everything except their own and their boss' safety. Jungkook was stunned by the news and immediately went inside the room, without realizing that he was restricted from it. His eyes widened as soon as he entered the room. The scene that he encountered was enough to make him freeze at his place. He kept looking at his boss's wife, who was trembling in fear and screaming from the pain. His boss Marco saw him and immediately got filled with anger, as he raised his voice while saying, "Why the hell did you enter my room? Do you want to die?" Jungkook came to his senses. He looked at his boss and immediately bowed to him, as he said, "I'm sorry, boss, but your enemies are in this very house." Jungkook, "Sir, we need to go." Marco, "What? How the hell did they enter the house? Am I paying all of you for this?" He got up saying that and went outside the room, taking his gun out of the drawer with him. Jungkook looked at Vine, who was at her worst. His eyes and heart melted, looking at her. Then he also left. They all fought the enemies with all the ups and downs, having a lot of injured guards, and 2 to 3 died too. But it was all worth it because the enemies were outnumbered, and they went away, leaving their boss and his house completely safe. Tired Marco went up towards his bedroom after making a whole bloodbath in his lounge. Jungkook saw him and followed him to the bedroom when he remembered the visual that he saw earlier. As soon as they reached the bedroom, Marco looked at Jungkook and said, before closing the door of the room, "No matter what the emergency, always knock before coming." Jungkook bowed to him and wanted to catch a visual of Vine while his boss closed the door, but he couldn't see her. Jungkook spoke. "What is this? Why do I care what happens to her? What else can I expect from boss? Love his wife?" But I was actually stunned because I thought all those screams that I heard were just them having fun. But he was beating her? How can a person beat a girl this much? I heard her screams all the time he and I are at home. That's cruel. I was lost in my thoughts that I heard another scream of her, and then I kept hearing it. My heart couldn't bear all of this at all. All I remembered was the scene where I saw her trembling. I can't get the image out of my head. I heard it again. I wanted to go inside. This is the first time something has made my heart melted. I'm going inside. As I was about to open the door, I stopped myself. I took a step back and asked myself, why am I even doing this? He will beat her even more if I go inside and ruin his already ruined mood. I didn't go inside, but kept bearing it outside. Next day, Jungkook was still guarding the door that his boss and his wife arrived outside for breakfast. His heart melted again when he saw Vine having no expression on her face, as if she was his slave. They had their breakfast, and after that, Marco and his wife held hands and went towards outside of the house. Marco made his wife sit in the car. Jungkook was a little confused as it was about his boss' office time, and he never took his wife to his office. They both sat in the back seat while Jungkook on the passenger seat at the front, and the driver drove the car. Jungkook saw from the above mirror how he was forcing Vine to smile. He couldn't bear to see this. He clenched his fists and teeth, looking at them. Marco, smile, Vine. I have to introduce my favorite item to everyone today. You can't look bad. Smile widely and give a cute look when you reach. He kept touching her, which made Jungkook's blood boil. Marco, you know you have to entertain me in the office too. I get really bored there sometimes. A tear fell from Vine's expressionless face, which was seen by Jungkook. That's it. If he touches her wrongly once again, I won't keep quiet, Jungkook said to himself when he saw Vine's tear, which broke his heart into a million pieces, not knowing why he is feeling like that for Vine. It's common in his field where girls get beaten up and even die, but he never felt like this. Soon they reached their office, and in the meantime, Marco didn't touch Vine, too, making Jungkook relax for a while. They held hands like a couple and went inside, followed by Jungkook. Vine wiped her tears and put on a fake smile. He saw Vine trying so hard to smile even in her condition. Jungkook although saw her smile, but he was furious about how she had to fake smile when she is in front of a crowd. Going inside, Marco introduced her to his staff. Everyone, she is heavenly gorgeous. Vine cheered while she said, "Thank you so much. I hope I get along well with you all." She smiled and looked really happy to everyone, except the one person, Jungkook, who was about to go crazy because of what he was seeing in front of him. Marco took her inside the cabin while Jungkook stayed outside. After a while, Jungkook came inside to talk to Marco about some business-related thing. But when he entered, he saw Vine sitting on Marco's lap, and Marco was having fun by all of this. Jungkook saw this but soon ignored it when his boss called him. Jungkook showed Marco the file for which he came inside. Marco got up from his seat and Vine also stood up. Her trembling hand touched the cup of coffee on the table, for it fell down, pouring all the hot burning tea to his legs. Marco got furious. He looked at Vine and slapped her at once, to which she screamed. Jungkook couldn't see this. Marco, are you blind or what? What an idiot. He was going to slap her once again, that his hand was stopped by another muscular hand. Marco looked at it, and it was Jungkook's hand. Marco, what the... Jungkook, if she is an idiot, then why don't you let her go? Marco, now you will tell me what to do. Who the hell do you think you are? Leave my hand. Jungkook left it at once, and he kept standing there, assuring Marco that he won't let him beat her once again. Marco scoffed. Get out of here at once, otherwise... Jungkook, what will you do? I'm not going anywhere from here. Marco, I can kill you in an instant, and no one will even know about it. Jungkook, I'm ready to die if you let her go. Marco came closer to Jungkook as he said, Did you have a one-night stand with her and then left her? Or was she your ex? Why the hell are you protecting her? I'm curious now. Jungkook clenched his fist in anger. If he wasn't his boss, he would have killed him right on the spot. Marco, get out at an instant, and I'll forgive you for what you did. Jungkook, I will go, hoping that you won't beat her again. Marco. And what if I don't agree? Jungkook held Vian's hand, for she was amazed. She looked at Jungkook while Jungkook, without any fear, looked in Marco's eyes and said, "Then I'll take her with me." Marco scoffed and said, looking in Jungkook's eyes, "I dare you to do it, because you also know that the moment you do it, both of you are gonna be killed by me. So try it." Jungkook broke the eye contact and looked down. He left her hand and went outside. Marco laughed, which was heard by Jungkook. Marco slapped her again. "Why were you looking at him like that, huh? You thought he will help you?" He scoffed. "No one can help you, sweetie. Consider this your fate." She smiled while a tear fell from her eye again. Jungkook saw this from outside the cabin and clenched his fist. "Jungkook, I can even die for you, but I won't let anything happen to you. Just bear with it for today. Everything will be fine tomorrow. I promise." A tear fell from his eyes as he looked at Vine's pitiful face. He knows how dangerous his boss is. That's why he never even tried taking Vine with him in front of his boss. At night, Jungkook was guarding the bedroom that he knocked on the door. Jungkook screamed, "Boss, they are here again. We are going to die." Marco, "What? Who? They all died. Who is it now?" Jungkook didn't reply anything, so Marco furiously got up to see what's happening. He went outside the bedroom to the lounge while Jungkook ran into his bedroom, who was hiding behind a wall. He sat on his knees in front of Vine and held her hand, saying, "Let's go." Vine, "Go? Where?" Jungkook looked in her eyes and asked, "Do you trust me?" Vine, "I don't know." Jungkook, "Look in my eyes and tell me again. Do you trust me?" Vine looked in her eyes, creating tension between them. His eyes looked desperate to help her. Vine nodded hesitatingly. He held her hand and took her outside the room. Marco was outside the house, still confused about what's happening. Jungkook and Vine behind the main door. As soon as Marco came inside from the main door, he started screaming Jungkook's name and went to his bedroom, hoping to see Vine. While Jungkook and Vine went outside the main door and reached the gate of the house, where there were other guards who saw them, Jungkook straightened his back as he said to them, "Jungkook, open the door immediately. Boss asked me to take his wife to a safe place, as the enemies are going to be here again." Guard, "He didn't tell us any of this. Besides, he never hands his wife to anyone." Jungkook, "Do you want me to put her life in danger because of you? What if the boss comes here and finds out about this? He will fire you right away." Guard hesitatingly opened the door because he didn't want to lose his job. While some other guards were running behind because Marco told them that Jungkook and Vine are escaping. As soon as they stepped outside the gate and went towards the car, those guards came and screamed, "Stop, both of you, or I'll shoot you." The guards had guns in their hands, so Jungkook and Vine stopped, while Marco came to them laughing. Jungkook held Vine's hand and pulled her behind him so that they can't shoot her. Marco punched Jungkook as he said, "I told you to try it and I'll kill you both." Marco raised his voice as he ordered his guards, "Kill him." Before they could shoot, Jungkook took out his gun from his waist belt and held Marco by the neck, putting the gun on his forehead. "Jungkook, put all the weapons down or I'll kill him." They all didn't put down the weapons at first, but then Jungkook whispered to Marco, "I told you too, that I'm ready to die for her, and to tell you that if I can die, then I can kill too. So order them to put their guns down before I go crazy." Marco ordered them all to put the guns down. Jungkook said to Vine, "Sit in the car." Vine, "And you?" Jungkook, "I'm coming too. Just go now." Vine held his hand and said, "You need to come, okay?" They both had an eye contact when he noticed her eyes filled with care for him. Jungkook, I will. Don't worry. Vine sat in the car, throwing away Marco. Jungkook sat on the driving seat and quickly started driving. Marco was hella furious as he growled, Kill them. All of his guards started following Jungkook's car. As a Mafia's personal bodyguard, he knew how to handle this. His boss went on different dangerous missions, from which he was saved by Jungkook every time when they had to fight or run. He knew all the tactics and ways, so he quickly found a way to lose them all. Going far away where they both couldn't be seen by any of his guards, Jungkook held Vine as he was screaming all the time in the car because it was really scary for her as to how fast he was driving. He held her trembling hands and then held her face by both of his hands, pulling it towards him. Jungkook, it's all fine now. I'm here. Don't be scared. Vine looked in his eyes and felt a wave of calmness and protection. She calmed down, but then she remembered. No, no, I shouldn't have come with you. I was so stupid that I hurt you. He will find me no matter how. And then he won't leave you too. No, no. Before she could say anything further, he crashed his lips upon hers, giving her a sweet and passionate kiss to make her calm down and shut up for a while. She didn't kiss him back, but she didn't refuse it too. He kissed her for a minute before leaving it. Jungkook looked at her and said, You think I don't know what kind of a person he is when I'm his personal bodyguard? I know all his tactics and how to get rid of him. Why are you so scared of him? Why don't you leave him if he behaves like that to you? Why? As if he will let me leave him. He has me in front of him 24/7 and he doesn't even let me have a phone so that I can contact someone. Jungkook, then why did you marry him? Fine. Why would I marry such kind of a person? He kidnapped me here to just entertain him. He told me that I'm so beautiful, so I have to entertain him all the time by dancing or doing with him. And if I mess up one little step, he beats me to death. I can't escape this. I... She starts crying. Jungkook hugged her by holding her head and make it hit his chest. Jungkook, don't say anymore. It will never happen again. Fine. But why are you helping me? And you even risk your life for me. I can never thank you enough. Jungkook, as a thank you, will you be my girlfriend? She stopped for a moment, broke the hug, and looked at him. She then looked downwards without answering him. Jungkook, are you unsure? I will protect you with my whole life, and I assure you that you will never have to face anything like before. I will love you, and I'm not good with words. Just answer me. It's okay if it's a no. A little laughter escaped her lips, which was a mesmerizing scene for Jungkook, even if it was for a second. Because this was the first time he saw her laughing, with her heart, and not faking it. His heart felt at peace as he kept looking at her. Vine, you're surely not good with words. Jungkook, I don't mind dying right now, but I have seen you smile. Vine held his hand and nodded. Okay, I will be your girlfriend, but I have a condition too. Jungkook, tell me, I'll even die for you. Fine, that's exactly my condition. Don't die for me. Instead, live for me. No matter what the situation. Just don't risk your life for me ever again. Jungkook looked down as he said, Do you really just want that? No one ever said that to me. Don't die. Instead, live for me. Then he looked towards her and hugged her again as he said, I guess it was worth it all, saving you. I myself didn't know what I was doing and why I did it, but now I'm so glad that I did it. I will protect you forever. Thanks for coming in my life. I love you. Fine. And I promise I won't leave you. The reason I'm with you, I don't understand it too. But the way you saved my life, just, it was enough for me. And especially when I look into those eyes, I feel at home. Then they both kissed each other, making it a happy ending after all they went through.